healing vibes to everybody out there. I know I get a lot of comments that say, some of my videos keep people strong. Sometimes they tell me I saved their life. That's wild. Um, that's why I keep doing it. Um, Mostly be positive today. I got such a fucking headache though. Fuck. Allergies have been really bad, but I haven't been doing anything much to help it. Literally spending out time outside. I do in nowadays I can take an antihistamine once in a while. If I keep taking it, it makes me awful. But now I can take it like once in a while, like once a week. I usually take like half, depending on how bad things get. If I'm gonna spend the day outside, I'll take a whole one. But I gotta take it with a lot of water or with food because I get really dizzy. But that's a total acknowledgement of healing, I suppose. Um, Not really sure what to say. It's been 7 years and almost 11 months of dealing with this madness. Um, some of us protracted people go through this for a very long time. And not everybody's going to have a story like mine, which is good. When people say they don't understand, I usually say, I'm glad you don't. But just trust me, it's as bad as I say. But in my reality, things are much better than they used to be. Have a ways to go with the symptoms and stuff like that, but in reality, it's much better. And I can push myself, you know, throw myself into waves, but not like before. But sometimes my waves are actually worse than before. It all depends. Like my latest one was really bad. I'm starting to come out of it a little bit. Anxiety's calmed down about 20%. The last 2 days I've been busting my ass, um, trying to reorganize my workroom. I got a lot of work to do left with that, but it was a start. I say it was like the first wave of work in my workroom, putting new shelving up for inventory and stuff like that. So it's been an absolute bitch, and I know I overdid it. And I have a plan on Monday to go to the zoo, which is another testament of healing because I'm coming out of a really bad wave from cutting Remeron. And it's been bad. It's been really bad. The anxiety was so fucking brutal. And it's just slowly getting a little better. But I would say it was one of my worst cuts I had in a long time. So I have a major headache today. Still have a lot of symptoms going. Hands and feet are just buzzing. Body just feels like shit. DPDR and fog are heavy, but not as heavy as it was. Um, but I'm accomplishing a lot in my life now, unlike before. Well, that's not thoroughly true. I always accomplished a lot, but it didn't feel like it because I had to work like 10 times the effort to make that happen. And although I work a ton more than most people because I'm sick, it's not as bad as it was years ago. It's weird because I've heard people say at the beginning, some people heal after 10 years. I'm like, well, if it hits 10 years, you ain't healing. But here I am at 7 months or 7 years and 11 months. And I would say the blame is put on me being on other drugs. Because I don't know if you can grasp it without going through it, or if you have, you'll get it. Once your nervous system is compromised from benzos, almost anything is impossible to get off of. Because your nervous system is so fragile, and your brain is so fragile. So any kind of change really, really messes you up. And that's exactly what I've been dealing with, is the changes every time I taper or, get stressed out or work too hard or anything. But sometimes now, if I work too hard, sometimes I'll feel a little better for a little bit. I guess that already, it always depends. But I just never know. Like sometimes if I'm feeling really bad, sometimes getting out will help. And like a couple weeks back when I got out, it made it 100 times worse. 100 times worse. So you just never know what's going to happen. It all depends. Sometimes you can gauge it and you kind of know what's going to kill you, you know. But like right now, would I feel a little better if I just got off my ass and took a drive? I doubt it. But it could. You just don't know in this situation. So I decided to get a lot of work done today and um, get stuff done. Trying to relax now. The rest of the evening, I'm just going to watch TV and lay and. But realistically, I would need like a couple days of rest. But I got a plan to go to the zoo on Monday, which will be fun. Probably for 3 or 4 hours walking. So expect a video after that of me going, oh God, sucks. But maybe not. Like I said, maybe I'll feel better. Maybe it'll be okay. I know Monday I go into the zoo and doing whatever, and then Tuesday I'm going out for a long day of work. I think that Wednesday is going to be brutal. That's what I think. But who knows? I just keep pushing. That's all you can do is keep pushing. There's, I remember when the worst part of this whole thing, other than the getting off benzos, was when I fucked up Remeron. I fucked it up. And I tapered too fast, too much and too fast, because I felt pressured. And that put me into a 2-year tapering hiatus. So I didn't taper for like 2 years. And those 2 years went by quick of not tapering. And it took that long for me to get back to like a baseline. And honestly, I've never been the same since that. I started getting way more physical symptoms than I ever have because of that. It fucked me up. And I still have those symptoms and they come in waves as well because of that. And that was like 3 years ago, I think. But I will never change my taper because somebody wants me to. And that's my suggestion is if you know it works for you, don't change it because you're scared. You're scared of your life situation and somebody's going to be upset with you or not believe you. Because either way, they probably don't believe you anyways if they're saying shit. So it's kind of pointless. So don't fuck yourself up like I did. I just didn't think it would be that bad. I thought it would be rough, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. And honestly, if it wasn't that bad, I would have been off Remeron by now. But that was a setback of 2 years. And then I started tapering, and now I taper even slower. Well, I taper about every 4 months now. And after this taper being so hard, it might be 5 months. It's just going to depend. And with the holidays end up coming up, it's just so hard. So hard. But I don't want to wait till after all the holidays because it's way too long. July, August, September, October, November. That would be 6 months to not taper if I waited. Which my body probably needs, but I'm not going to do it. I gotta probably do it within probably the beginning of October. So July, August, September, October. July, August, September, October. So at the end of right after Halloween, I taper. Maybe I'll be tolerable by Thanksgiving. And then probably a little bit better by Christmas. But I usually end up having a really bad wave at 2 months after a taper. So like now I'm going to start feeling a little better, but right at 2 months, usually every fucking time, I'll get in a really rough wave and be like, holy shit. And then after that, that's when I start feeling better. So it's too hard to say. It's a lot different this time. That's for sure. A lot different. But I probably only have about 4 tapers to go. But if I go through the 4 months, that's 16 months, and obviously there's going to be setbacks. So I say 2 years. Because sometimes I won't be able to taper, or maybe I'll get COVID, and that's going to put me back for months, and get sick in general, flu, have a stressful time, can't taper. There's always a reason. There's always fucking something in life. But I've built myself, like right now, I'm built up to better than I've ever been. The things I own that I've built, I haven't had to sell. My business is starting to get back to normal, finally. And if I set everything up right, my business will be better than ever. It's way less stress where I'm at right now. Way less stress. But I have somebody that pushes me, but not so hard that it, I have the freedom to do as I please, because if I can't do something, I can't do something without somebody talking to me like, what the hell? You could do it last week, what the hell? It's like, yeah, well, it's always different. That's the thing, it's always different. Shit I was doing 4 weeks ago, I couldn't do now. Next week? Yeah, maybe. But then again, it's like I'm going to the zoo on Monday. That's a lot of walking and being outside and everything. And, it's not a big deal to some people. But for me, this is the second time I'll be going this year. I gotta say, I'm enjoying my life more. It's not easy, but I'm enjoying it more. I'm just telling you, things get better. And as much as I'm still in a really bad place, it's so much better than it was. Because I know a lot of people wish they could be doing what I'm doing. And I was in that place a long time ago, where I wished I could be in the place where some other people were. I remember there was somebody in the Benzo Buddy group who would go to the beach and read while still tapering, saying they're almost off Remeron, but they're able to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I would love to do that. I don't even really read, but, I'm like, the fact that they're sitting outside at a beach, reading and living, I don't only dream of that. I could do that almost any time now. So, just keep your head up, let things fall into place, because healing happens, and it's usually just a timeline. Everybody says time, that's what's important, and that's very true. Anyway, have a good one.